Movement triggers a cascade of physical changes. It forces the body to shed visceral fat and flush out the inflammatory cytokines that block insulin receptors, restoring the body's ability to process fuel correctly. For decades, the pharmaceutical counterweight to metabolic disease has been metformin. It is the most widely used anti-diabetic drug on the planet, relied upon by millions to lower blood glucose and manage weight. Most patients naturally try to combine these two approaches. They put in the hard work during a workout and take the pill to further optimize their results. But stacking these cures doesn't produce a cumulative benefit. Instead, the medication triggers a biological paradox, where the chemistry of the pill can actively cancel out the physical effort. Researchers tested this by placing older adults on a 12-week aerobic training program. They expected to see the standard improvements associated with exercise: lower fat mass, reduced glucose levels, and more efficient insulin signaling. The placebo group's insulin sensitivity rose as they got fitter, while the metformin group's line remains completely flat. The interference goes deeper. Looking at mitochondrial adaptation, the medicated group saw none of the growth typically earned through training. The drug functioned as a microscopic eraser. It effectively nullified the physiological changes the patients were earning through their workouts. Managing a symptom with a pill can block the body's ability to repair the underlying system. To find the source of this conflict, we have to look inside the muscle cell. Within the muscle fibers are the microscopic centers of metabolic health, the mitochondria. These organelles function as engines. They burn through sugars and fats to provide the energy that drives every cellular process. Exercise places a heavy demand on these engines. To handle the stress, the cell triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, a process where the mitochondria multiply and become more efficient at processing fuel. This cellular expansion is the direct fix for insulin resistance. More active engines mean more glucose is pulled out of the bloodstream and burned for energy before it can do damage. By increasing the number and quality of these mitochondria, the body builds the physical capacity required to process fatty acids like sugar and sugarously. But that expansion is halted when metformin enters this exercise-primed environment. While the drug is effective at lowering blood sugar, it achieves this partly by acting as a mild mitochondrial poison. Inside the mitochondria, an assembly line called the electron transport chain creates energy. Metformin physically binds to and inhibits complex 1, the first step. With that blocked, the chain stalls. The mitochondria's ability to generate usable energy is stifled at the source. This creates an unwinnable biological tug-of-war. Exercise tells the cell to build more engines and create more energy, while the medication acts as an emergency brake, shutting those very engines down. This cellular conflict is not unique to diabetes drugs. Mitochondrial impairment is a frequent side effect of multiple common prescriptions. Statins, used by millions for cardiovascular health, interfere with the production of mevalonic acid. This depletes the body's levels of CoQ10, a molecule essential for mitochondrial energy production. Certain psychiatric medications and chemotherapy drugs can also impair mitochondrial protein synthesis or damage mitochondrial DNA, which lacks the repair pathways found in our main genetic code. Our modern pharmacological toolkit often manages the surface-level markers of disease at the direct expense of our core metabolic engines. In clinical practice, the choice to use these drugs depends entirely on the patient's lifestyle. For a patient who is completely sedentary, the symptom management provided by metformin is often worth the cost. If they aren't exercising, the fact that the drug blunts exercise adaptations doesn't affect their outcome. But for an active patient, the calculation changes. If they are already doing the work to repair their metabolism through physical effort, the drug is actively fighting their progress. The biological reality is clear. You cannot fully heal metabolic dysfunction by relying on a chemical that impairs the specific organelles responsible for metabolism. If a patient is committed to the hard work of exercise, the medical goal must shift. We have to move away from suppressing symptoms with mitochondrial poisons and toward strategies that wake these engines up to heal the root cause.
If you're interested in exploring more of these incredible connections from hormone optimization to metabolic psychiatry and regenerative medicine, be sure to subscribe and follow for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for watching this Within You Health production.